Alright, so we'll go back to this. So before we draw the type of this, the J is a Spur J, SPUR is a Spur J. So and we need this table, we need these values to actually draw what we need. So we can just quickly pause and just go through the values. Like this is the one for the assignment itself, so we can just go through them. All these values are what we need to actually get our Spur J. So now the first thing we now need to do, if you go back to the value that table and check, the first one we need to draw four circles that is with different diameters. So the first one I would suggest is we draw the dedendum diameter. That's this one. That should be the smallest one. The dedendum diameter, that's 324 millimeter. So in diameter, you can just pick any points and just 324. So we have that as our dedendum diameter, and you can actually place it anywhere. Just put it here for putting sake. So we have that one. So the second circle we have to draw is the base circle diameter. Now from our calculation, the base circle diameter is this one here, 338.298 millimeter. So but remember, it's still also in diameter, so we'll draw that one. That's 338.29, sorry, 289, 289 3455. Let me just leave it at that. 3435. Okay, so that will be the second one. We've drawn the second circle. So the third circle we are now to draw is the PCD, the pitch circle diameter, and the pitch circle diameter is 360 degrees. So we'll still come and pick it, 360 degrees. We've drawn that. Now the last circle we are now to draw is the module diameter. Now remember, module is the same thing as the addendum diameter, so that one is 384 millimeter. 384. So we have that. Now one of the circles, out of all these circles, one of them is very very important, and that would be this, because from the ones we've been doing so far, we have one that is always very very important. Is this second to the last one? This one, this is the last circle, but this is the second to the last one. So that's the one we are going to check out in the ones we are doing now. So the second to the last one, which was the number 2 circle we drew, and that was the base circle diameter. So for that, we can just use that and change the color if you want. It's not compulsory actually. You can just change the stuff. So we have that. Now the next thing to do is to we're going to draw a line. Now this line is going to start from the center of the circle. We're going to have it to this point. That's the first line. So and we're going to actually trim this line off. We only need this part. This is the part we really need. So we're now going to draw another line, but that line will be at 4 degrees to this line. We'll draw it in such a way that it will be 4 degrees. Now you can do your own up, you can do your own down, but just for reference sake, the master we should do on. And this line is not does not have a specific dimension or length. You can just put it at any length. Now the 4 degrees is like a constant, so we always, for every spot j you want to draw, it should always be 4 degrees. So now because we are dealing with 180 degrees, you can see here is at 173 degrees. If you look by this side, these are 173 degrees. So what we just need to do is 180 minus 1 180 minus 4, and that will be 176. You can just write 176. Sorry, that was a mistake. So what you can just do is simple. You come here, just put it on the body so that this point will come out. Then the length, remember the length can be anything, so you press tab. Your tab will shift this blue marker to the other side where you have your angles. Then you can press your 176 degrees, then enter. So you have your line. Now you don't care about the length, but you just care about the angle it is, and you must make sure it has 4 degrees. So we have that one first. So the next thing to do now is to divide this line. We're going to divide this line into 3. Now all these steps, all these ones are very very important. They must always, so for any spur gear you want to draw, that line you divide it into 3. Now how do we divide the line into 3? We come here on this draw, we click it, we come here, this is where you have your divide. You click the divide, it will ask you to select the object. You come here, select this line. Now it will tell you how many segments you want to divide it into. You say 3 segments, then you press enter. Now at first nothing might show on it, but to make something show, like a marker or a point, you can come to this utilities, come to this point style. Then you can now choose what you want as your point. I can decide to choose this now, for example. So now you can see the point will come out. Alright, just remember utilities, point style, you come here. Alright, now please make sure this one is always at 5%. If it's bigger, you might have to, although we're still going to clean it, so we have this. Now we're not going to pick another line. Now this line that we're going to draw, we're going to start the line from this point down to this circle that we put red, but it must be tangential to this circle. It must form a tangent. Now to get a tangent line, sometimes the cursor stuff might be on, sometimes it might not be on. So let's check if it's on. To check if it's on, we come here to this snap cursor, to the effect stuff. Then we come to the arrow by the side. You click the arrow by the side, it will come out. So all of these are the cursors that are possible cursors that you need. If you can turn them on, you can turn them off. My own tangent is on. Alright, it's on now, so I don't need, so I'll just come to the line here, click this line from this point. Remember I started from this point, then you drag it. Now you see where you see this sign, that means it's at tangent to this point. You see it's right tangent, you click it. Now that's the line. Now you now see this line. Now we're going to pick this line and divide it by 4. We're going to divide this line into 4. So we'll come here again. We'll come here again, this draw, click on this divide, come here, select our object, this one, and divide it by 4. Now remember, the first line we divided into 3. This line we are dividing into what? 4 segments. So you press enter, and automatically this stuff will come up, the point will come up. Now this is now where we want to draw one of the teeth of this spur gear. So what we do is simple. We pick the circle, we can change it back to radius. You pick the circle, start your points from this side here, start it from that side. Now this circle will have this radius, and you come and end it here. End point is here, so you can see it started from here and you ended it here. Now you are not going to trim this circle. You trim this part, you trim this part, you trim this part, this part, this part, this part, because we don't need them actually. So, and we'll trim this part too. So that's the first one. Now because we now have this, now after that we're now going to do the mirroring. All right, we are going to mirror this. Now for for other things sake, you can just erase all of these ones. You can just erase, because we've gotten to the points where we don't need them again. You can just erase them off. These points, we've gotten to the point where we don't need them again. Just erase them off. This line too, erase it off. Let me see, erase this line off. Yes. So now we're not going to select this one, and we're going to mirror it. We're going to mirror this, because we can as well decide to construct that same thing again and put the tangent here, then now construct the same thing into now facing no. But since we are using this one, we can just mirror it. We'll mirror it. Then it will tell you to select first point of mirror line. That's what you have on the screen. Then you come and select this center line. It's not that you select the second point, you just come and select the second point as this other part here. The end point of this line is where you come and select. Now you can come and select that, or you can come and select this part. It doesn't make any difference. So then to ask you, should you erase the source object, you say no, because if you erase the source object, it will erase this one, then leave only this one. So we have that. Now after this, we'll now do something again. Now the second thing we want to do, the other thing we want to do now is, I believe we don't need this line again, so you can erase it. We don't need this one too, you can erase this one. Now we now want to make sure that the number of teeth, we want to array the number of teeth, but first we need to, number of teeth here is 30, but first we need to do something. These sides must not be on this straight line, they must have a curve. So we trim this part. Sorry, before you trim, draw a line. Now this one is actually a shorter method that I usually use instead of doing all the whole wala, because just pick a line, draw the two of them here this way. Now you've drawn the two of them this way. Now trim this one at the back, let this line go, then trim this line and trim this line. Just trim these ones off, then you can trim this one in the middle too, and this one, leave it like that. Now after doing that, the next thing is we want to make this side sort of curve, not a straight or sharp corner kind of. So how we do that is simple. We come to fillet. Now but before we go to fillet, we need to come here. The fillet actually has a formula that I found out sometimes this evening. It is width space divided by 2. Width space divided by 2. Now because I've done this one before, I calculated it to be the width space is just the distance between the width space is just the distance between one of the gear teeth to another. Alright, the distance between one gear teeth to another. So now the thing is, you can do the filleting after the entire teeth structure. So, and what is width space? Width space is, you can use dimensions, is the distance from this edge, not to this edge, but to this other ones, be the beginning here. That's what we call the width space, to this point here. So, and if you check by, that's 40.1389. That's what we have for that. So, and that's what I wrote here in the dimensions here. We have 40.1389. Now divided by 7, you have 5.734. So that's the radius we are going to use when we are filleting. Now how do we fillet? We come to this point, we say fillet. When we pick fillet, some commands will appear on this button here. Now which one do we want to use? We want to actually use radius, so we click radius. Now when we click radius, it asks, now remember what the radius was here. The radius wanted is 5.734. so we put in the value of that radius. Sorry, fillet radius 5.734, 5.734. I hope this one works sharp. We press enter. Now we come here and pick multiple because we are doing more than one. Now let's see, this should work. Yes, then we pick this also, and we pick this. Yes, so you now see that it has the actual angle is meant to get. So good. Now after this, the next thing is to now trim this side off. This side here, trim it off. This side here, trim it off. This side, trim it off. Now you now see this line too, trim this line off. We don't need it. Oh sorry, we still need the line. Sorry, we still need we still need the line. So after that, we now have it's now time to array, meaning set the number of teeth we need. Now remember, the number of teeth is 30, so we come to array, and to ask us to select objects. Now please be mindful, always make sure you select this one first, all these ones, because you might omit them. Select this, and select this one. Now after you've done that, you've selected your objects for array, so just come here and use what polar array. Sorry, to actually select object again, polar array. So we have 1 2 3 4 5. Now please be careful not to highlight this line too with it. So now we've highlighted the lines. All right, sorry, what's wrong with this? Sorry, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So we'll come here, polar array. You can use just polar array. So now here it will not ask you to specify center point of array. The center point will still be this side. That's why we still need this line. Now after you've done this, it will drop some numbers, but we don't, this is smaller than the actual number we need. So the next thing to do is to press I, just your I on your keyboard, press enter. Now it will ask you what's the number of items you want to array, because that I stands for items. Now you now press the number of teeth, which is 30, and press enter. The number of teeth comes up. The number of teeth comes up. Now this is now this is, after this you can press escape. Now at this point, you know, you don't need this line yet, but there's a problem. These two things cross around, right? So the best way to do that is just to trim this off. You can trim this off. Oops, sorry. You can trim this off. I'm coming. Hold on, please. Let's see if we can select this and this. Okay. Sorry. I believe that 5 points something was a bit too much. The 5 points that we used was a bit too much. So let's see. Okay. So since this 5 is too much, sorry, you can just use Ctrl Z, then Ctrl Z, 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 Z. Hold Ctrl down till you get back here. Now in the filleting, instead of us using that 5 points, we can use 1. Let's use 1. Let's use 1 then. Sorry for that. So the filleting will use 1. Radius, remember radius 1. That should be the radius we want. Then multiple 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. But the filleting is actually supposed to work in that way, but I'll look for a way to run through it. So now remember, we trim. I'll look for a way to make sure that we use the actual filleting, not just something we designed this way. So we trim this off, oh no, sorry, not again, we leave that. Let's trim this off. We trim this off, we trim this off, we trim this one off. Now array, polar array, but select your objects first. 1 2 3 4 and 5. So array, then center point of array, then select the edit. So and we want it to be 30. So we have that. Now this is now where the small trick comes. Now for the first one, we discovered that it was too much. Now to extend this one, what we just need to do is simple. We'll come here, we'll just come to one of them, select line. Is one of them we need to select a line that will join these two together. You can do that, or you can use still the fillet, whichever way. Now select this, highlight this line, and come and use this same array. Alright, now select the center point of the array. Now remember, all of them still have that gap. Now select I, then now press 30. Immediately you press that 30, that line fills all these spaces up immediately. So as at this point now, we don't need this one again, so we can erase this line or we can trim it off. So now we've completed our Spur Gear to a point. Now since we've done this, the next thing is to make it look real. We can want to make it look like this. All right, this is what we are aiming at. Want to make it look this way, or whichever way you want to turn it, back, side. whichever this is just what we are going on, sha. So to do that, we just need to do this. So we come back to our drawing. Now we first would like to change the orientation. So we come here, you can use this top. Now this top come to the corner here. Sorry, the corner here is what we are. This is the corner I use. Actually, you can use any of the corners, or you can use whichever way fits you. But I use this top corner here. So it gives you this view. Now when it gives you this view, the next thing is to come to this part here. Now you're supposed to have home, insert, annotate, parametric, 3D tools, view, manage, output, add-ins, collaborate, blah blah blah. Now major stuff is 3D tools. Now check if you have 3D tools, fine. If you don't have, just come to this side here, right click, these stuffs will come out, come to show tabs, then come to 3D tools. Your 3D tools, see now I don't have my 3D tools here, so you just come here, show tabs, 3D tools, it should come here back. Now your 3D tools, now our whole wala is on this press pull, so you can highlight this, then so select press pull. Now it will tell you, sorry, it will still tell you to select the object or the bound area, then you can select this one, you can select this one, then pull it down a bit. Now this stuff, sorry, before we continue on this, let's go back to what we have here. Now ideally, or before, what we did have was that we're looking for something that the thickness, all right, actually it's called face width, is what we have here. Face width, the thickness, that's the face width. So it's addendum plus dedendum, that's 12 plus 15, that's 27 millimeter. Good. So we'll come here, and you see we have, it's supposed to have another circle inside it, right? What I just do is this, for the circle inside, I say 360, which is the pitch circle diameter, divided by 2. Now in this case our own is 360, so divided by 2, that will be 180. So you can just draw another circle, so it just make your work look nice. Now I see this 180 coming, you can just bring it here, sorry, to the center. So we have the center. So now we're supposed to have 180, all right? So invariably what we're supposed to have is 90. So 180 diameter, radius will just be 90, so I'll just write 90. So I'm using radius 90. So you have this. Now you can now come to this, you can now run this. Now remember what we said our face width is 27 millimeter. So we come here, oh sorry, we come here, and we come to 3D tools, press pull, we select the this space. Now should in case your computer hangs, because normally it will hang, even my own is hanging here, just bring it to this place and leave it for a moment until it selects everything. Now after it's done, click on it, left click on it, then drag it down. Now it will want to know the thickness. I remember what we calculated that one as 27, so you can use 27 as what you have. Now we have something, we want it to look like this, all right? We want this extra color there, but we don't have it here. So the next thing to do is to come here, you have your 2D wireframe here, you have all this isometric blah blah blah, click on this 2D wireframe, it will bring out this cursor, then come to realistic, use realistic, then you have this one. Now you see that you didn't click the center, so you know that nothing is actually in the center. Now whether you decide to look at it from the bottom part or from the top part, you still have your Spur Gear. So that's how to guess your Spur Gear. And if you just want to make your work look neat, highlight it, press Ctrl C, good, then press Ctrl V, then bring this one here, bring it closer. You can do bring it something like this, then just click yes. So you show that 2 gears are connected, whichever way share. So that's just all on the gear stuff. I will try and do the for the other assignments too.